Okay.
Going?
You're on. Go.
Okay. Erev Tov l'kulam. Especially Erev Tov to all those people who said, well, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. And then they all showed up. Thank you very much for coming, for honoring me, honoring my family, especially honoring my mother, Aleh Shalom, who passed away just 30 days ago. First thing on the agenda, we have to make this a Sudas Mitzvah. I've been learning Gemara Megillah with my Chavrusa, Yisrael Levitz, and I went ahead and I completed the Masechet ever since I came back from New York. And I'd like to learn with you just the last couple of words of Masechet Megillah because it's very apt to today. The Mishnah says, "Vaydaber Moshe et Moadei Adonai el Bnei Yisrael, sheyu korin otam kol echad ve'echad bizmano." The Mishnah said that there's an extra pasuk after we have all of the list of all of the chagim and all of the moadim. All of a sudden, the Torah comes with a summary pasuk. Hashem told the Jews all about what Moshe told the Jews what Hashem told them to do. Well, of course Moshe told the Jews what Hashem told them to do. Why do we need this special pasuk specifically about the Chagim? It could have been about any of the mitzvot. But the Torah says that Vaydaber Moshe et Moadei Hashem b'nei Yisrael, and the Mishnah says to teach us that Moshe instructed the Jews that on every Chag they're to read the portion from the Torah that corresponds to that Chag. That's Vaydaber. That was Moshe's addition to what Hashem said. The Gemara goes on. Tana Rabbanan. Moshe tikein lahem shiu shoalim v'dorshim binyano shel Chag. Hilchot Pesach b'Pesach. Hilchot Atzeret b'Atzeret. Hilchot Chag b'Chag. Then the Gemara adds in a second innovation of Moshe, who said that right before every Chag, you should be able to go ahead and learn the halachos of that Chag. During that 30-day period is the exclusive time, is a better time, because that's when you can go and ask the Rav all kind of sheilot, and he's supposed to know the answer. That's the historic start for the drasha of Shabbat Shuvah and Shabbat HaGadol. Hadran alach b'nei ha'ir u'slik alach masechet Megillah. Hadran alach masechet Megillah v'hadra chalan. Datan alach masechet Megillah v'data chalan. Lo nitshem minach masechet Megillah v'no titshem minan. Lo ba'al ma'adein, lo ba'al ma'dati. Yirtzu v'necha nolhen v'lavotenu shetei Torat Chaim umanutenu b'olam hazeh utei imanu l'olam haba. Chanina bar Papa, Rani bar Papa, Nachman bar Papa, Acha bar Papa, Abamari bar Papa, Rafan bar Papa, Rachish bar Papa, Surcha bar Papa, Ada bar Papa, Daru bar Papa. Wow, you had a lot of kids. Karev na Adonai Eloheinu at divrei Torah b'finu v'fiyot b'chabeit Yisrael v'niyah anachnu v'tzetzainu v'tzetzei tzetzainu v'tzetzayim b'chabeit Yisrael kulanu yondei shemecha v'lomdei Toratecha lishma me'oivayt chakmeini mitzvotecha ki leolam hili hili bitamim b'chukecha leman lo oivosh leolam lo eshchach b'kudecha kivam chiyitani baruch atah Adonai lamdeini chukecha amen 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 sela v'ed. מודים אנחנו לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו, ששמת חלקנו מיושבי בית המדרש, ולא שם חלקנו מיושבי קרנות, שאנו משכימים והם משכימים. especially during סליחס. אנו משכימים לדברי תורה, והם משכימים לדברי בטלים. אנו עמלים והם עמלים. אנו עמלים ומקבלים שכר, הם עמלים ואינם מקבלים שכר. אנו רצים והם רצים. אנו רצים לחיי העולם הבא, והם רצים לבאר שחת, שנאמר, ואתה אלוהים תורדים לבאר שחת, אנשי דמים ומרמה לא יחצו מימיהם, ואני אבטח בך. The limud today is Leilui Nishbat Gitl Ruth Bat Harav Yeshayahu Halevi. Yirat Mefanecha Adonai Elohai Kishem Shazartani L'Sayim Masechet Megillah Kein Tazreni Latchil Masechtot Usfarim Acherim U'L'Saymam ללמוד ולמד, לשמוע ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. וזכות כל התנאים והאמוראים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לי ולזרעי, שלא תמוש תורה מפי ומפי זרעי זרעי עד עולם. תתקיים בי בהתלכך, תנחה אותך, ושוכבך תשמור עליך, והקיצות היא תזכרך, כי בי ירבו ימי חיים, כי בי ירבו ימיך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים, אורך ימים בימינה ובשמאלה עושר וכבוד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. ילמדו עד להתחדתה ולהחיה ימיתה, ועסק על יד הון לך ימה, ולבני קרתי ירושלים, ולשכפך עלי בגבי, ולמקר פולחן הנחרה מן ערה, ולעטל פולחן הדשמיא לאתרי, ימליך קודשה בריחו במלכותי ויקרא, יצמח פורקני ויקרא משיחי. חי יחן וימחן וחי לכל בית ישראל, בהגלה בזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ועולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לילה ולילה מכל ברכתה ושרתה תשבתה ונחמתה, ואמרם ביומה ואמרו אמן. על ישראל והרבנן ועל תלמידיהם ועל כל תלמידיון, ועל כל מנס מרייתא דיבת וקדישתים דיבכל אתר ואתר, יהי להון נכון שלום הרב הכין וחסד ברחמים. חיים ערכים בזון רבי חי פרקנים מקדם אבון ושמעיה ויער ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבין שמיים וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה השלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Enjoy. In Gemara Megillah that I was just learning on both Daf Kaf Zayin and Kaf Chet is an interesting discussion between some of the Talmidim and their Rabbanim. Various Talmidim ask their Rabbanim, Rebbe, Bameh Ha'arachta Yamim, how did you manage to live to such a ripe old age? What have you done with your life that allowed you to live to be an old man? My mom lived till she was almost 91. She was ill with MS, multiple sclerosis, for over 40 years, but she absolutely refused to give up. I want to read to you, please, a letter that the Rav of her shul wrote. It was an unsolicited letter. We didn't ask him to write it. It just showed up one day. From Young Israel of Wave Crest and Bayswater, from Rabbi Foyer. Dear members, neighbors, and friends, today we lost a longtime member of our shul, Mrs. Geraldine Fader, alei shalom. Over the last 13 years, I have had the privilege to know this great woman and had many very special conversations with her. The one thing that we can all learn from her is the power of a smile. Although Geraldine was confined to a wheelchair or an electric scooter for so many years, she never lost her charm and wit. She served her Creator throughout all these challenges with love and devotion. I cannot recall ever seeing Geraldine without a smile on her face. She literally lit up the room, and of course the shul, when she was able to join us. In these challenging times, we all seek the secret of happiness, and somehow it seems to be very elusive. Perhaps the secret has been in our midst all this time, setting the example, and we might have missed it. Happiness is not how much one has or how mighty one is. Happiness is a state of mind which one acquires through hard work and strong faith. Happiness is looking for the small milestones and accomplishments one can do without fanfare and without noise. Happiness is remembering a great woman like Mrs. Geraldine Fader, who, in her refined, quiet way, taught us the secret of what we are all in pursuit of. With fond memories which we will cherish forever, Rabbi Eliezer Foyer. I think that's a pretty nice letter. My mother, among other things, was fiercely independent and refused to be a burden on others. She accepted her disabilities in life and learned to make the best of them. Last year, when she would turn 90, we wanted to make a birthday party for her, a 90th year birthday party, and invite friends, relatives, and people who she knew. And she absolutely refused. She would not let us in any way, shape, size, or form make that birthday party because She didn't want to trouble all those people to have to come all the way just to see her. In addition, she didn't want anybody to know how old she was. Now, if she knew how many people came here tonight in her memory, she would probably have been very annoyed and troubled that all of you took the time to come here. But I want you to know that I am very, very touched and very honored that you did agree to come today. She didn't want to be a burden on the family and left very clear instructions not to artificially extend her existence with breathing tubes and other medical machines. It's a mitzvah to prolong life. It's not a mitzvah to artificially prolong death. And it's a fine line that's very difficult to understand and to implement correctly. After consulting with some gedolim and some experts in the field of medical ethics and medical halacha, Baruch Hashem, we were able to fulfill her wishes, and she was able to leave this world in a quiet way, in a nice way, and unencumbered. Yehi Zichra Baruch. I want to invite now the Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshivat Shalavim, Harav Michal Yamer, who so graciously agreed to come and say a few words. I don't believe it. We brought the pay, the korot. Pass it around, please.
Erev Tov Umvorach. Good evening. Before we start the shir, I must share with you feelings that I had when I came here to the shiva. To me, coming here to the shiva was a big lesson of Kibud Orim. I heard from Dr. Feder how it was so important for him, and I understand that he spoke about it now, to fulfill her wishes, the wishes of his mother. And I really saw that it was something that wasn't only in the brain, but really was something in the heart and inside him and inside the family, to be sure to be Mekayim Mitzvat Kibud Horim in the best way. Not only about her last wishes, but generally about life. When he spoke about all the years and so on, I really saw a tremendous mesirut, tremendous dedication to do that thing. And to me it was a big lesson. I told Dr. Feder we are saying to the Avilim on the Shiv'ah, Hamakom Yanachem Otchem. And everyone is asking, what is Hamakom? You should say, Hashem Yanachem Otchem. What is Hamakom? So the Shem Yishmur and others explain that the Makom means Hamakom Ba'olam Haba. This is what is Menachem, because it shows that really there is no end. According to most of the Rishonim, that's the reason why you're not allowed to do saret. When someone dies, you're not allowed to scratch your skin, because even that it's very, very bothering and very ko'ev, very hurting. But laniftar tov, ki hu nimtza ba'olam shekulo tov. So that's the explanation of most of the Mefarshim. That's the Makom Ba'olam Haba. But the Sfat Emet in Aizkeret, in the letter, writes that the Makom is what the Niftar and the Nifteret are living in this world. And this is the Tzetzayim. And if they continue the way, this is the biggest Nechama. because that shows that there is a continuation, not only in Olam Haba, but the continuation in Olam Hazeh. And everyone that knows the Dr. Feder family understand how much it's a nechama, with the ma'asim, with the chesed, with the kindness, with the shiluv of ben adam lamakom and ben adam lechavero. And this is the biggest nechama, not only ba'olam haba for the nifteret, but ba'olam hazeh, that this is the continuation. Like the Gemara says that Ben is kara de avua, kara de imei. I want to share with you, please, in the 20 minutes, 25 minutes that I have, I want to share with you a case that came to court, came to Beit Din HaRabani HaGadol, a very complicated case, and I want that we will learn each one of the Dayanim, what he said and why, and learn it in a very, very deep way. And this will be Le'ilui Nishmat, Marat Gitel Ruth, but Ishaya Levi, the learning will be to her Ilui Neshama. This is a case that happened 28 years ago to a couple in the name of Ruti and Daniel Nachmani. Ruti was a woman that didn't have a womb, didn't have a rechem, and they wanted very much to have a kid. And they made, you have to help me because my English is not enough good, so part of the terms I will say in Hebrew, and Dr. Feder or someone else will translate, please. הם עשו הפריה חוץ גופית.
IVF, in vitro fertilization.
And it was in the freezer of the ביציות המופות, כן? Was in the freezer of Hadassah Hospital in Karim. And after they did that, it was planned, and already they had a connection to a hospital in New York. It had to fly from Israel to New York. In New York, it had to go into a surrogate mother that already they decided which one it will be, and already they signed a contract with a lawyer that she will have it for 9 months. She will give birth, and then the baby will fly back to Israel, and Ruth and Daniel Nachmani will have a child. After it happened, and it was in the Hadassah Hospital, and after they signed the contract with the surrogate mother, and everything in the hospital in America, in New York, was ready, for different reasons they separated. And they didn't live anymore together, with a process of getting a get. In the minute that they separated, Daniel wrote a letter to Hadassah Hospital that he disagreed that they will send it to America, and he is demanding that the hospital will destroy these things. She sent the letter to the hospital that she demanding the hospital to continue the process. And Hadassah Hospital didn't know to which letter to respond. To her letter or to his letter, and why. And therefore it came to the Beit Din HaGadol in order that they will tell Hadassah Hospital if to continue the process or not to continue the process. Each one of them took a lawyer, To'en Rabbani, and they came to court, to Beit Din HaGadol. 3 very, very famous Dayanim, Rabbi Daichovsky, Rabbi Sherman, Rav Shaul Israeli, and they had to tell Hadassah Hospital what to do. If I can ask for 2 minutes before we continue the sources, if you'll be a Beit Din, what will you say and why? Should they listen to the woman and continue the process? Should they listen to him and not continue the process? Bakasha. Imagine that you are now the Beit Din.
It was his zera?
What? It's his זרע שלו וביצית שלה. You are now debating what you're deciding and why. Yes.
I would say listen to her.
What?
Because listen to her. What if they got separated and she discovers she's pregnant? He's going to say, no, we're separated, get rid of the baby?
She came with two explanations to her demand. Explanation number one, see please the Rambam. The Rambam says, הנותן ביצים לבעל התרנגולים להושיב התרנגולים עליהן עד אשר יצאו האפרוחים ויגדל אותם בעל התרנגולים ויהיה הרווח ביניהם ואינו יכול למכור שלא מדעת חברו בתוך זמן זה. לצד השולחן ערוך, השותפים שיתנו ביניהם שיעמדו בשותפות זמן קצוב, כל אחד מהם מעכב על חברו ואינו יכול לחלוק עד שיגיע הזמן או עד שיכלה ממון השותפות, ואין אחד מהם יכול ליטול מהקרן ולא מהשכר עד סוף הזמן. The halacha is that if two people are partners and they decided to do something in cooperation and there is a certain result and a certain time that will come to that result, no one is allowed to break the partnership in the middle. And therefore she came and said, we are partners. And we can't stop that partnership in the middle. And therefore, because you committed to that partnership in the beginning, and we are partners, therefore the halacha is that partners are not allowed to separate in a project till they come to that result. And therefore, I demand you to continue the agreement that we had as partners. This is what she was claiming in Beitin. Here we come to a very, very interesting question. I don't know if you heard, but half a year ago, I think approximately, there were a few people from Borough Park that wanted to do a certain operation, and they didn't have medical insurance in America, and it was very, very expensive. So they flew to one of the third countries, and to have that operation there, it was very, very cheap there. They took the best doctor there. When they came back, after a month, they had tremendous pain to all the 4 people that did it. They had x-rays and CT, and came to be that while they were in coma in the operation, without asking their permission, the hospital took a kidney from each one of them and put it into a certain person. They took a spy, and they got the name of the man that has that kidney. Each one of them, it was clear who is the man that has it. They went to the court there, and they said, you have my kidney, or you pay me $500,000, or you give me the kidney back. Can they do it or not? Is really the partnership that she is speaking about is like partnership of mammon, of any other partnership? Is it exactly the same thing or not? She is learning from the Rambam and from Shulchan Aruch that they speak about a partnership about the physical things. One is bringing the chicken and the other one is bringing the eggs. Is it exactly the same thing or not? Rav Zevin wrote a very, very interesting halachic article about a play of Shakespeare. Shakespeare had a play called Shylock. And he wrote an article, Shylock B'Halacha. And that play speaks about that Shylock was the lover, and Shylock was the malve, and a goy came to Shylock, and Shylock said, I'm not giving you money unless you give me a deposit. He didn't have any deposit to give, So he gave his hand. And he said, if I don't have money back, you take my hand. And they had an agreement written. In the play, they had an agreement written, and in the end of the play, in the end of the loan, he didn't have the money. And now the question is if Shiloh can take the hand of that man or not. That was the play of Shakespeare. And on that, Rav Zevin writes the following. כוח החיים של גוף האדם אינו שלו של האדם. לא בלבד שאסור לאבד את חייו, אלא שאין החיים שלו כלל. אם הוא מוכר או נותן את בשר גופו לחתיכה או לקציצה, הרי זה כאילו מקנה דבר שאינו שלו, שאין הקניין נתפס כלל. השם נתן והשם לקח איננה מליצה של תנחומים גרידא, אלא שזוהי הגדרת המציאות. איבריו של האדם אינם ברשותו כלל, הוא אינו בעליהם והם אינם שלו, ולא יוכל לעשות בהם שום משא ומתן, ואינם נתפסים לא במתנה ולא במחירה. החוזה של שיילוק ואנטונינוס הוא לפי ההלכה בטל ומבוטל מעיקרו. Come Rav Zevin and says, the body doesn't belong to us. We are not bailim. We are not honoring the body.
So the surrogate mother was not responsible either.
What?
The surrogate mother was not responsible, could not be held responsible also.
No, we don't start with this argument. We are saying that the partnership from the beginning, the egg doesn't belong and the zera doesn't belong to them.
No, but
We don't speak about the surrogate mother.
But the contract that they made with the surrogate mother.
No, the contract with the surrogate mother is not a problem.
Why?
That would also be invalid.
What?
That would also be invalid.
No, this is a part of Rapoye Rapeh. We are not saying that she is honoring it, but we are saying that she is allowed to get it in order to have a baby. That's part of Rapoye Rapeh that the Torah allowed. So the contract with the surrogate mother, nothing to do with the question of Rav Zevin. Like operation is allowed according to Rav Zevin, even that the body is not yours. But you have it as a shmirah, you have it as a guard, and Hashem wants you to be healthy, so He allows you to have operations. So Rav Zevin is not against operations, but he is saying there is no ownership. So you can't speak about the word partnership. According to Rav Zevin, these people in Borough Park can't ask for money for their kidney because the kidney is not theirs. So if it will be a pen that in the operation they took their pen when they were in coma and bring it to someone else, they can come and say the pen is mine. Or you give me the pen or you give me money. But because the kidney is not theirs, they can't go now to these people and say we want money. Because it's only for shmirah. We only have our body for shmirah. We don't have our body as ownership. Therefore, what the woman said, I'm a partnership with you and partners with you, and therefore you can't break the partnership, it's wrong. There is no partnership. And Rav Deichovsky in the court says, I hold like Rav Zevin. Therefore, her claim, we are partners and you are not allowed to break the partnership, is wrong completely.
So the husband also has no ownership.
Sorry?
The husband also has no ownership.
לא הבנתי.
The husband also. Haba'al ein lo ba'alut b'chal gam.
Which
נכון.
means he has
Therefore, no one has ba'alut, and the hospital can do whatever they want.
But the zera is not.
And now Beit Din will tell the hospital what to do, whatever they understand.
אבל מישהו צריך לגדל את הילד.
For example, Rav Shaul Israeli says, after there is no partnership, and therefore no one has a bailim, therefore the hospital can decide whatever he wants. He says, because it's going to go to a surrogate mother that is not Jewish, and he holds that in the end, the surrogate mother is the one that decides who will be the boy, therefore the boy will be goy. So he says, you take a zera of a Yehudi, and in the end there will be a result of boy. I don't want that to happen. So I will recommend Beit Din, the hospital, not to do it. If it will be a surrogate mother that will be Jewish, I will recommend the hospital to do it. But because it's a surrogate mother that is a Goya, and it's come from a zera of Yehudi, I will recommend the baby not to do it. But all this comes after, firstly, we disagree to her claim that you're not allowed to break the partnership. Now we can recommend to Beidim what to do, to the hospital what to do. And says Rav Shaul Israeli, we will recommend the hospital to destroy it. Because the product will be that this boy will be Goy, and he comes from a zera of Yehudi, and that's Chilul Hashem. And therefore, we will recommend the Beidim, the hospital, not to do it. But it's based, firstly, on the idea of Rav Zevin that the body doesn't belong to us. Only we are shomer, we have a deen that we have to guard the body. Therefore, the v'nishmartem od nafshotechem, and so on. But there is no deen of ba'alut, so you can't speak about partnership.
Where's the body?
What?
Where is the body?
No
There
body.
is no body.
It's an egg.
There's either zera, which is not body,
לא הבנתי.
No, it's a fertilized egg.
but it's not a body.
It's an embryo.
משהו שיוצא מהגוף, בוא נגיד חלב מאמא, the mother puts milk into a cup,
That-
that you buy to go to feed.
It's
another
not belonging to the mother. If someone will steal it, you won't have to pay, according to Rav Zevin.
baby. Why would not?
Because all what we have is not ours.
אבל אחרי שזה יצא
גם
ממך,
אחרי שזה יצא, זה לא שלנו. זה רק בשימושנו. We can use it, but it's not ours. Rav Shaul Israeli, because of the time you have here, 3 proofs of Rav Zevin, but we don't have time, so we won't go into that. I don't want to make the shiur too long. Rav Shaul Israeli disagree completely. And he says, we have ownership. Hashem don't only gave us the body to guard it, He gave us to us. And we have ownership on the body. More than that, he wants to explain a very, very hard concept in the halacha. We know that you are allowed to danger soldiers for milchemet mitzvah. All the army today, the Israeli army, is based on milchemet mitzvah, and therefore you can risk the life of soldiers. I must say that the hardest day in my life was the knocking in the door in after Pesach, and I was told that one of my guys in yeshiva were killed in the army. Immediately I went to be the night with the parents. I only went to them now before Rosh Hashanah. Very, very hard. But the reason why you are allowed to danger the soldiers and the life is because of Milchemet Mitzvah. But we have another concept. And the other concept is that even Milchemet Reshut is allowed. If a king wants to go into war, not because to capture the Gvulot Eretz Israel. He wants to go into war because economical reasons. Imagine that one day Bibi Netanyahu will decide that he wants to go to Arabia Saudi and to capture it in order that we will have oil. He is allowed to danger soldiers. And the big question is why? Why is that allowed? If it's to be Mekayim, the mitzvah of Gvulot Eretz Israel, I understand. If it's only to raise the economy, why you can risk life of people? Says Rav Shaul Israeli. ומעתה נאמר שהסכמת בני המדינות, אף על פי שזה נוגע לדיני נפשות, הסכמתה מועילה. וזה יסוד של חוקיות המלחמה. ואם יבואו העמים כולם לידי ההסכמה לאסור המלחמה, שוב לא תהיה המלחמה חוקית ולא הכיבוש. ועם שיוצא למלחמה יהיה נדון בדין רוצח ושופך דמים. אולם כל עוד שהנוהג של המלחמה הוא מקובל בעמים, אין המלחמה אסורה גם לפי דין, ומטעם זה מותרת לישראל מלחמת רשות. ועל כן יש לבדוק גם בנדון של קיביה, I'll explain it in a minute, אם תגובה מסוג זה היא נקוטה ומקובלת בין העמים, כי אז יש לראות זאת כהסכמה מטעם כל הנוגעים בדבר, ואין בזה משום שפיכות דמים. Said Rav Shaul Israeli, because the body is us, we as nations, all the nations can decide that we are endangering the body. And because Milchemet Reshut is something that is common and the whole world agrees with that, we have credit to do it because the body belongs to us and we can decide what to do with the body. If the whole world will decide that he's not going for war for economical, and one country will decide yes, there will be murders. But if everyone decides yes, because the body belongs to us, we are allowed to do it, and that's the concept of Milchemet Reshut. Rav Israeli was asked in the beginning of Israel, 1948. There were terrorists that came from a village called Kibya and killed Jews. There was no army yet, or it was the beginning of the army, and the settlers wanted to go to the Arabs and make a pogrom. And they asked if that's allowed or not. And he says, it will depend. If something like that is common in the world, it will be allowed. If it's not common in the world, it won't be allowed. Because that's the concept of Milchemet Reshut. Because we are owners of the body. Therefore, according to Rav Shaul Israeli, she was right. She can compare the partnership of the Beitzit and the Zera to any other partnership. According to Rav Zevin, she was wrong. Rav Deichowski fought like Rav Zevin. Rabbi Sherman and Rav Shaul Israeli fought like Rav Shaul Israeli and said she was right by comparing it. But now, comes Rav Sherman and says, by the time, in the minute that they separated, the partnership stopped. Because the partnership was not, the project was not bringing a baby. The project was bringing a baby to a family. And in the minute that there is no family, the partnership stopped. And therefore she can't claim anymore. So Rav Deichowski says he can't claim because he's not honoring it. Rav Sherman said she can't claim because the partnership stopped. Because the partnership was not having a baby to the family, and there is no family anymore. Come Rav Shaul Israeli, and he says something very, very interesting. The halacha is that if you take any one employee to work, let's say to close a balcony, he's allowed to stop in the middle of the day. Because we are only slaves to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. He doesn't have a din of a slave. He is only po'el, and he can stop whenever he wants. You invite someone to make these 3 lamps. After 1, he can say, finished, I don't want to do anymore. You pay me only 1/3, and you bring someone else to the other 2. When you are not allowed to do it, you are not allowed to do it if it's davar ha'avet. If you will stop now, there will be a tremendous damage. Let's give an example. A boy in yeshiva is getting married this Thursday. For 3 weeks he went around checking which band does he want that will give the best atmosphere in his wedding. They went together, the chassan and the kala, different weddings to choose the band. Imagine that 1 hour before the chuppah, I'll be already on my way to be Mesader chuppah. He will get a phone. I'm only employee. I can stop whenever I want. Thank you very much. I decided to stay at home tonight in such a nice grass and balcony. I want to stay here. And you find another band. Shalom Aleichem. He's not allowed to do it. Because in 1 hour you can't find the band that they want for the atmosphere of the wedding. So when it's davar ha'avet, when it will cause tremendous crisis and damage, you're not allowed. But even a band, an hour before, is allowed in 3 cases. Let's see the Shulchan Aruch. Second quotation, the first quotation is what I said, התחיל הפועל במלאכה וחזר בו בחצי היום חוזר. He can stop. במה דברים אמורים בדבר שאינו עבד, אבל בדבר העבד he can't. Let's go to the last line. אלא אם כן חלה הוא או אשתו או בניו. If he is sick, have tremendous fever, 40 fever, he can give a phone and say, I can't do it anymore, even if it's an hour before the wedding. His wife is sick, and she got 40 degree, he can say, I'm not coming, find another band. His son is sick, he can say, I'm not coming. I want to be a good father, sing to him now Karlibach, give him the medicine with a spoon, kiss him, forget, there is no band tonight, find another band, Shalom Aleichem. Ask Rav Shaul Israeli, can you explain to me? If he is sick, I understand, he can't move, he can't play. But if child is sick, bring a babysitter. Give your wife to be with him. Give him a disc of Karlibach. Invite Rav Noam that you will sing Karlibach. But why do you have why is it allowed for that to destroy the wedding? Anyone want to explain to me? Why even if the son is sick, he can say I'm not coming? What? On some we don't say the kegufo, only after he passed away. Says Rav Shaul Israel, you know why? Because if he knew before that his son will be sick, he won't agree. So it's like they made, because the condition changed, therefore the partnership, the commitment stopped. It's like they made the condition in the beginning. And like they made the condition in the beginning, if my son will be sick, I won't come. So even if he didn't say it, it's obvious. I hope that Rabbanim in the yeshiva don't have that contract. I need them to give shiur. But it's like they made this thing. So if the condition changes, you don't have a commitment. Says Rav Shaul Israeli, if this husband will know that they're going to separate, he won't agree to that partnership. Therefore the condition changed, and therefore he is allowed to cancel the partnership. Not like Rav Sherman that says that it's cancelled automatic because the baby is for the family. But the idea is that he can cancel it because the condition changed. Therefore, according to the three Dayanim, her claim went away. According to Rav Dovchovsky, it went away because there is no partnership, because the body doesn't belong to us. According to Rav Sherman, it went away because the partnership stopped, because the partnership was to be a baby in a family. And according to Rav Shaul Israeli, he can cancel it because the condition changed. With your permission, 4 minutes more, and with this we'll finish. Her second claim was, there is a very interesting halacha. The halacha is that if usually a woman can't demand a get, but if they have 10 years without a child, she can say, I need a child that will help me later on in life, and she can force a get. So she said, you see, you have obligation that I will have a child, because I need it later on in life to help me. Like the Kibbud Orim that we spoke here, I don't think that child will be like Dr. Feder, but she wants someone to help. So you are obligated, and you are still my husband, even though we are separated, but there is no get yet. Therefore, you are still my husband, and you have a hitchayvut to help me to get it. What happens if there is a couple that have to go through a tremendous process, medical, and the husband says, I don't have money? She can ask him for money, and she can demand money, and he has to work for that. So you have obligation to give me, so that I will have a child. Therefore you can't go against. Rav Zevchotsky says, she's right. And because of the second claim, not the first one of the partnership, the second one, I will tell Hadassah to continue the process and to send it to the United States. Rav Sherman and Rav Israeli says, she is wrong. It's not his commitment. The idea is that a family, part of a family is to have a child. If there is 10 years without a child, she can ask a get, not because it's his commitment, but because it's part of what a family is. And if there is no in the family, she can ask to stop the family and to start a new one. But it's not obligation on him. And therefore the other two Dayanim said, her second claim is wrong, her first claim is wrong, and therefore the hospital doesn't have to listen to her. Now we'll go according to our recommendation, and our recommendation is, but because there will be a go in the end, not to do it. Beit Din always is free, in order that if two think something, we go according to the two. Therefore, the result of the Beit Din to Hadassah Hospital was that they shouldn't continue the process and they should destroy it, and this is what they did. So in the first claim, all the three Dayanim said that it's wrong. On the second claim, Rav Davchovsky said that it's right. The other two Dayanim said that it's wrong, because it's not din on the husband. As I said in the beginning, we see from here the importance of family, importance of kibud horim. This, I think, is the main message of tonight. The tremendous, tremendous, tremendous kibud horim that the Nifteret was zoche. And I think that all of us have to learn it. I must say that a lot of the questions that I get from the boys are connected to kibud horim. It's not easy. Sometimes they feel that they're not themselves, and all the time they're in question. They want to do the best, but they have few things and so on. And usually the solution is if there is a right communication. If there is a right communication and you build a house with the right communication, then even if there is a gap between children and parents, if there is right communication, it can work. And it will solve all the gap. And if there is no right communication with the children, every small crisis there will be a problem. One year, when I taught the Americans, and always in the end of the year there is a question that the Americans are asking to stay another year, and the parents not always it's easy for them. One year in the beginning of the year, approximately, let's say in Chanukah, I went over my students, and even if they didn't speak with the parents at all, because I understood the communication at home, I already made a list who the parents will agree and who the parents won't agree. And it's not the question if the parent was in yeshiva or not, it's the question if there is a healthy communication. I won't say that it was 100%, but I was 100, not far from that. And I think that tells every one of us, as parents, as grandparents, the importance of right communication, of love and trust. What a kid wants is to feel love and to feel trust. And if you feel love and trust, then there is a very, very healthy communication and right one. And sometimes we love him, but he doesn't feel that love. And our obligation is that he will feel that. Be'ezrat Hashem, the biggest nechama will be that Dr. Family and his family will continue, and Balat Bayit will continue, and the kids and the other big family will continue in the Maasim Tovim that they do, in the Chesed, in Makbil Kol Adam B'Shalom, in the love that they give to everyone, in the kindness that they give to everyone. When my teeth hurts and it's 10 o'clock at night, I don't want to call Dr. Feder because I know that his answer will be, come to the clinic, I'll be there in a few minutes. So I'm trying to suffer till the morning. In the morning I tell him that I had it at night. I get 10 minutes of shouting why I didn't call it night. Erev Tov U'Mvorach.
Toda Rabba Rabbi Yamer, thank you very much. Appreciate your coming and your kind words. Dessert is being served. Please have something more to eat, and we'll bench Birkat Hamazon for those who washed. And we'll let you go on your way.